everyone, it's Nadia from YARNutopia. Today we're making this beautiful Destiny headband. This is so much fun to make. We're using thread in our project today. This is very, very thin yarn and we're making this really, really delicate piece. And in this project I'm going to teach you how to make these leaves and then this centerpiece inspired by a video game online. This is actually part of a costume for cosplay. But these leaves are very, very delicate, and actually I was thinking of adding these to my wedding bouquets. These are so pretty all across. So you can do whatever you want with this. You don't even have to have the middle centerpiece. You can just do a whole headband of leaves, and that would be very, very pretty. So this yarn I'm using today is sponsored by Red Heart Yarns. Thank you to them for providing the yarn for this project. This is called Aunt Lydia's Crochet thread. The main color we are using is this metallic size 10 cotton thread, and it has a metallic in it, and this one is just gold, so you can see that the color is gold. And this is part cotton, part metallic. It is a size 0 super fine lace thread, so that's what our main color is. And then for the center jewel here we are using the same size 10 thread. I don't have the label for this one, but this is just Aunt Lydia's Crochet Classic 10 cotton, 100% cotton thread. I have some in purple here. Here's a label I have in purple, Classic 10 here, and this color is purple, but for my color I'm using this teal. This is called teal for the color we're using today, but you can use whatever color you want for the center. So that's the label for that one. And then you're going to need some floral wire. This you can get at the shop, any crafting shop that has a silk flower section. They have this really, really thin wire, floral wire. So I can put the link in the description of this video where you can get this super fine wire. It's just really, easy to bend and crochet with. And then also you're going to need, obviously, then wire cutters, because we are going to be cutting this wire as well, so we're going to use a wire cutter. And then you're going to also need some scissors to cut your yarn and a yarn needle to sew the pieces all together. The crochet hook I'm using, since this is super fine thread, we are using a 1mm size crochet hook, so it's a super small crochet hook, as you can see. It's so tiny, so 1mm there. And then I do have an extra piece of yarn here. This is just a stitch marker. If you have a legit stitch marker, you can get one of those. Otherwise, I'm just going to use an extra piece of yarn for marking some stitches in this project. I do have a measure tape with me, because if you want to, obviously, you can measure your headband out. We are making a braid. We're going to chain 6 chains and then braid them together. And that should wrap around your whole head. You want it to be, so you want to measure the circumference of your head. Mine is 22, and then add 4 more inches. So it should be around 26 inches long. If you have a 22-inch head, which is, my head's pretty big, and that's about 68 centimeters long. So that's how big I made mine, but you can make yours as big as you want, because the chaining is just chaining and then making your headband. So you can make this for a baby if you wanted to also, adding more or less of these leaves and making this centerpiece. So those are all the supplies you're going to need. I am going to put links in the description of this video and on my pattern on the website YARNutopia.com. You'll get the free written pattern there, and you'll get a list of all of these supplies that we're going to use today, and you can get them online through redheart.com or through Amazon, and I'll find links where you can get all these supplies so you can make this yourself. Or if you have just things around the house, you can make these as well. Big thank you to Red Heart. Big thank you to my dad, Fuad, Azmat, for taking the time to make this video with us. He's our videographer, editor, and photographer for all of our videos at YARNutopia, so make sure you subscribe to our channel. leave him a comment thanking him for his hard work as well. So now this is, just remember, check out those links in the description there. You can find my Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, all that. Make sure you're following me on all platforms. And if you make this, please, please, please share your photos, snap it to me, or share it on the wall on Facebook, because I would love to see your costumes. So let's now just get started and make this beautiful Destiny headband. Let's first start out with our main color. This is the gold metallic thread, and we are going to start off with a slip knot. So put your short end over your long end, then fold this down just like that, and then pull your long end through and pull that short end, oopsie, there we go, pull it tight. So there's your slip knot. Then you can insert your hook into that loop and pull it a little tighter. Now we're going to start out by making the leaf. Okay, you're going to have to make 8 leaves, or you can make as many as you want. The first thing we have to do is chain 18. So yarn over and pull through 1, yarn over, pull through 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, whoopsie, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and 18. Okay, so that's what your piece should look like. So now we are going to work in the second chain from the hook right here, and we are going to slip stitch. So the loop on the hook doesn't count as a chain, so count 1 and 2. The second chain in, and what I'm going to do is turn my chain toward me like this, and I'm going to work in these back ridges of my work here. Okay, so in that second chain, go in. We're going to slip stitch into that second chain from the hook right there. So go in, yarn over, pull through, and pull through that loop on your hook. Just like that. You don't have to pull too tight though. That's just how you should have it. Then in the very next chain, we are going to single crochet. So go into that next chain, then yarn over and pull through, and then yarn over and pull through 2 loops. Okay, that is a single crochet. We're going to basically do every single stitch that there is possible in this project. In the next chain, we need to half double crochet. So yarn over, go into the very next chain, then yarn over and pull through, and then yarn over and pull through all 3 of the loops on your hook. That is a half double crochet. So we're getting taller as we go. So now the next chain is going to have a double crochet. So yarn over, go into the next chain. There we go. Yarn over and pull through. Yarn over and pull through 2 of the loops on your hook. And then yarn over and pull through the other 2 loops on your hook. We're going to double crochet in the very next chain as well. So yarn over again, go into the next chain, yarn over and pull through, then yarn over and pull through 2 loops, and then yarn over and pull through those other 2 loops. Alright, in the next chain, let's see, in the next 2 chains, we're going to put a treble crochet. So yarn over twice here. Let's try that again. 1, 2. Okay, hold those on their hook there, go into the next chain, yarn over and pull that through. There we go. Yarn over and pull through 2 loops. You have 3 loops on the hook now. Yarn over and pull through 2 more loops. You have 2 loops. Oopsie. Don't drop your loops. This thread is so small. We'll get there. There we go. Should have 2 loops left here. Yarn over and pull through both of those. So that's a treble crochet. So let me show you that again because that one I botched that one. So yarn over twice, go into the next chain, yarn over, pull through, then yarn over and pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through 2 more loops, and yarn over and pull through those other 2 loops. Okay, that's our second treble crochet. Oh my goodness. I'm sorry guys. It's because this metallic thread is so tiny. There we go. Alright, now in the next 3 chains, 1, 2, 3, we are going to double treble. So yarn over 3 times, okay? Yarn over 3 times. It looks like there's 4 loops on your hook there. We're going to hold that on with one finger. Go into the very next chain. Then yarn over and pull through. Yarn over and pull through 2 loops. Yarn over, pull through 2 more loops. Yarn over, pull through 2 more loops. And yarn over and pull through those other 2 loops. Okay, that is a double treble. You can see that these are getting very tall. That looks really cool. Alright, so that was our first one. Yarn over 3 times. Okay, go into the very next chain. Yarn over and pull through. There we go. Yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over and pull through 2. Okay, that's our second double treble. And now we have to do another one. So yarn over 3 times, go into the very next chain, then yarn over, pull through, then yarn over and pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over and pull through 2. Awesome. Now we're going to come back down, so we're going to make a treble crochet in the next 2 chains. So yarn over twice, go into the very next chain here, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over and pull through 2. Okay, there's a treble crochet. So now we're coming back down. So now, next chain, we have to make a treble crochet, so yarn over twice for that treble crochet. And there we go. Okay, then the next chain is going to get a double crochet, so only yarn over once for a double crochet and go into that next chain. Oh my goodness, there we go. Yarn over, pull through, then yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And another double crochet in the next chain. So yarn over, go into the next chain, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Now in the next chain we're going to put a half double crochet. So yarn over, go into that next chain, then yarn over and pull through, and then yarn over and pull through all 3 loops on your hook. Okay, that's our half double crochet. Then the next chain is going to get a single crochet. So go in, then yarn over and pull that through, and then yarn over and pull through 2. And there should be 1 chain left. We're going to slip stitch into that chain. So go in, yarn over, pull through, and through. Awesome, we're halfway there. Look at that. So now what we're going to do is we're going to chain 2. I'm going to hold my work this way. We're going to chain 2, 1 and 2, and we're going to slip stitch back into that same chain, that same last chain there, but I'm going to turn my work around this way, okay, and we're going to go right back into that same chain right here, okay, I'm going to get this little straggler out of the way here, and we're going to slip stitch, so yarn over, pull through, and pull through. That chain 2 is going to make a point, see, go in, yarn over, pull through, and through. Okay, so that chain 2 is going to make a point at the end of our leaf there. Now we're going to go into the very next chain right here. It's going to be a stitch actually. It's going to look like a stitch now. Okay, we're going to go into there and we're going to single crochet. So yarn over, pull through. Okay, and then yarn over and pull through 2. So now we're just working the opposite side and the same stitches in these chains. So now the very next stitch right here, this one is a half double crochet on the opposite side, so we have to yarn over and go into there and make a half double crochet. So yarn over and pull through, then yarn over and pull through all 3 loops. As you can also see, I am going to be working over the top of this straggler here so it gets sewn in as I go, so I don't have to sew it in later. So then in the next 2 stitches here, we are going to do a double crochet. So yarn over, go into this very next stitch right here on the opposite side of our foundation chain, yarn over and pull through, and then yarn over and pull through 2 loops, and yarn over and pull through 2 loops. Okay, again, yarn over, go into the next stitch right here. There we go. Yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over and pull through 2. Alright, now this next stitch, let's see here, so I worked that one in here, okay? It looks like it's kind of off to the side. I probably should scoot it over just a little bit so you can see. There we go. So it's up against this one. Now these next 2 stitches here and here are going to be treble crochets each. So yarn over twice for the treble crochets, go into that next stitch there, then yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Okay, and the next stitch also yarn over twice, go into that next stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over and pull through 2. Now the next 3 stitches are double treble stitches. So remember, yarn over 3 times for those ones. Go at the base of this one here, insert your hook, yarn over and pull through, then yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2 more, yarn over, pull through 2 more, and yarn over and pull through those last 2. Okay, 1, 2, 3 wraps, go into the next stitch right here, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over and pull through 2. Okay, I can be done crocheting over the top of that straggler now, so I'll cut that later, but I have to wrap again 3 times and do another double treble stitch in the very next stitch right here. Get these pieces out of the way. Awesome. Now in the next 2 stitches we are going to treble crochet. So yarn over twice for a treble crochet and go into the next stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. Whoopsie. I keep messing up these treble crochets. It's weird because the double treble stitches are just fine. I don't know what's wrong with me. Yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. There we go. Alright, yarn over twice, go into the next stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over and pull through 2, yarn over and get this out of the way, pull through 2, and yarn over and pull through 2. There we go. So then the next 2 stitches are double crochets, so just yarn over once for the double crochets. 1 and 1. Then the next stitch is a half double crochet, so yarn over, go in, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops. The next stitch is a single crochet, so go in, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, and the last stitch right here is a slip stitch. Awesome. Now we are going to introduce the wire. So we have a leaf here, looks really good so far. Hold your hook in there, we're going to introduce the wire now. And what I'm going to do is keep the wire on the spool of wire here. Okay, I'm going to straighten this out. Get it as long as you need it to be. You're going to be able to manipulate this however you need, okay? And we're going to put the wire in front of our working thread, okay? So behind our hook, right here, I'm just going to put this, and then our working thread is behind the wire, just like this, okay? And you're going to need to have some coordination, and once you have it pinched on here like this, you're going to be able to chain 1, so yarn over, pull through, 1. Okay. Now this thread, this wire, I'm just have like a little bit on this end here, but we will be cutting this short later on. But just to give me enough space so it doesn't go and slide off of my work or anything. So now what we're going to do is single crochet, and you can put 1 or 2 single crochets in each stitch around. So go right into this first stitch here, and underneath the wire, then wrap yarn over and pull it through your work here, okay, and then yarn over and pull through 2 loops. That is our single crochet. I'm going to show you again. Go into a stitch. You can go right into the next stitch right here, yarn over and pull through, and then yarn over and pull through 2 loops. And I am going to do 2 single crochets into each stitch. So I'm going to go back into that same stitch. Make sure you're going underneath the wire, yarn over and pull through, and then yarn over and pull through 2 loops. And that's above the wire, and the wire is now wrapped inside of those stitches. So again, go into the next stitch underneath the wire with your hook, then yarn over and pull it through that stitch, then above the wire, yarn over and pull through 2 loops. And that wire now is inside of that stitch. Go back into that same stitch, yarn over and pull through, yarn over and pull through 2 loops. Okay, so that's all we're doing now, is just attaching the wire on this round by putting 2 single crochets, or 1. You can put 1 or 2, whatever you feel most comfortable doing. You can put 1 or 2 single crochets in each stitch all the way around. But when I get to the other point, I'm just going to put 2 single crochets in each stitch, and when I get to this point right here, I'll meet you up because I want to show you. We're going to single crochet, then we're going to chain 2, and then go on this opposite end and work on this opposite side. So I'm going to single crochet 2 times in each stitch until I get to that point, and then I will meet you up and we'll do the other side together. Alright, when you get to this point here, if you want to, you can just stick your hook right into the chain 2 space, or just work in the stitches, basically wherever your hook fits in the point here, and then make a single crochet, okay, working around your wire, and then chain 2, 1 and 2. You don't have to work around the wire chaining or anything, but then just come back around into that same spot where you just put that last single crochet, and just single crochet back into there. Okay, and now you can see I pinched the wire down, and now I'm going to be working along this edge here. So now I'm going to hop into the next stitch right here and continue working along this side, putting 2 single crochet in each stitch across this side. And then when I'm ready to fasten this piece off, I'll meet you up. I'll show you how to, cut your wire, cut your thread, sew in pieces, and all that good stuff. So I'm just going to continue working along here, and when I get to the end, I will meet you up and I'll be back. Alright, just finishing up here. Now, to finish this off, what we're going to do is go into our first single crochet right here. Okay, move your wires to the right side. Okay, bring your thread around the back. Okay, and we're going to slip stitch, so yarn over, pull through, and pull that through your loop on your hook right there. Okay, but now what we're going to do is bring the thread back to this side. Okay, so move these wires down to the left, and then yarn over and pull through to chain 1, just like that. So now those wires are wrapped up in there. And then I'm going to cut my yarn right here, and continue to pull through that chain 1 there. Okay, so then you can pull that tight, just like that. Now, if your leaf looks kind of messed up like this, what I recommend doing before cutting your thread is to stretch this out, make it look like a leaf. It looks really, really nice. Stretch it out, make it look good, kind of shape it to how you want. Take your time also. Okay, make sure your stitches look good, just like that. Okay, then we're going to grab our wire cutters, and we're going to cut our wire short, but not all the way down to the piece there. We're just going to cut them to like about here. Okay, and we're going to cut. I have really dull wire cutters apparently. There we go. Okay, then I have to shape this a little better. There we go. Okay, then what we're going to do, I'm going to cut this little strand back here because I sewed that in earlier when I was crocheting over it. And then we're going to take these 2 pieces of wire right here. I don't have a needle nose on hand right now, but I'm just going to twist this around. Okay, and then I'm going to kind of bend it to the back and then gently just kind of squeeze it up to the back of the leaf. Okay, and if you want to, you can even cut it a little shorter. Cool. Just make sure that it is kind of curved inward so that you're not, you know, it's going to be on your forehead, so you don't want to be poking your forehead or anything. So kind of just play around with it, make sure it's secure, and then we just have this strand here to sew in. So grab your yarn needle, okay, yarn your needle with this strand. Whoops. This thread is so thin. I'm actually using like a sewing needle. There we go. Okay. And then just go in underneath your stitches. And you don't have to even go very far. Just about halfway. And then just pull it in there. And then just cut any extra you may have in the back. Okay? Then flip it over to the front, and again, stretch it out however you need to shape it to how you want. And with this crown, you know, some of my leaves are like going like this, like I kind of pushed them off to the side, making them more feathery like, or however you really want to do it. So you can really, it's nice because this wire is so easy to work with that you can kind of make it however you want it to go. So there's a leaf. How beautiful is that? And you can shape each end too, and then if you have a needle nose plier it's probably better, but if you want to just kind of squeeze each corner to kind of make them a little bit more pointy, you can do that as well. And it looks so good. So there's a leaf. So now what you need to do is rewind this and make as many of these as you want. I have all of mine already made. I'm using 8. Okay, so we have on the crown we're going to put 4 on one side and then 4 on the other side. Okay, just like this and like this. And we'll straighten them on the band when we make that. And now I'm going to make the center piece right here. So we have to first make 2 pieces that kind of curve like this. They're very similar to the leaves, but we're going to curve them. So let me grab more gold. Once you have all your leaves done, then meet me up at this point and we'll grab more gold yarn and we'll make that center piece. Alright, now we're going to make the 2 curved pieces in the front of our little headband here. So let's make a slip knot with our gold thread. Okay, I showed you how to do that earlier. making a slip knot, and then we're going to insert our hook, and we're going to chain 25 this time. So yarn over and pull through 1, 2, 3. I'm not going to make you watch me chain 25 this time, so just chain 25 and I will meet you up for the next step. Alright, so I chained 25, so this is what it should look like, just a cute little chain. So now we're going to go into the second chain from the hook, very similar to how we made the leaf. We're going to turn the chain toward us and work in this second chain. You can see here 1 and 2 right there. We're going to go into that chain, and then we're going to slip stitch. So yarn over, pull through, and through that loop on your hook also. Okay. Then in the next chain we're going to single crochet, so go in there, yarn over and then pull that through, and then yarn over and pull through 2 loops. Okay. In the next chain we are going to half double crochet, so yarn over, go in to the next chain, then yarn over and pull through, and then yarn over and pull through all 3 loops. Okay. In the next chain we're going to double crochet, so yarn over, go into the next chain, then yarn over and pull through, yarn over and pull through 2 loops, and yarn over and pull through 2 loops. Okay, we're going to do that same thing in the next chain, so yarn over, go into that next chain there, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over and pull through 2. For a double crochet. Okay, then in the next chain we're going to treble crochet, so yarn over twice for a treble crochet, go into that next chain, then yarn over and pull that through, yarn over and pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and then yarn over and pull through 2. I think for this whole video I will have troubles with the treble crochets. Let's do that again. Yarn over twice, go into the next chain, and make a treble crochet. There we go. Alright. Now, this is very similar to how we were making the leaf, so now it's going to be a little different. In the next 3 chains, we are going to put 2 double trebles in each one of those. Okay, so 2 double trebles. So that's 6 double trebles in total. 1, 2, 3. Yarn over 3 times. Go into this next chain right here. Then yarn over and pull through. Yarn over and pull through 2 loops. Yarn over, pull through 2 more loops. Yarn over, pull through 2 more loops. And yarn over and pull through those other 2 loops. Okay. Again, yarn over 3 times. 1, 2, 3. Go into that same chain. The same chain that we just made that 1 double treble in, we're going to go back into that same one. Yarn over and pull through. Then yarn over and pull through 2. Yarn over and pull through oh my goodness. Sorry guys. Oh my gosh. Yarn over 3 times. Wow. That's what you get when you're doing it live here. 1, 2. That kind of scared me for a second. There we go. Double treble. So there's 2 double treble stitches in that same chain. So do that for the next 2 chains. 1 and 2, so yarn over 3 times, and then go into the next chain and make 2, oopsie, right in here, 2 double trebles in that one, and then 2 double trebles in the next one. Remember to yarn over 3 times for a double treble stitch. So this is a little bit more difficult for me. I'm not going to make you watch me be miserable at making these, so I'm going to make these the best I can, and then I'm going to meet you back up after I make my double trebles, and we'll then come down decreasing our sizes of our stitches and making the rest of this piece. Alright, that was a little bit of a task, but I did get it done. 2 double treble stitches in these 3 chains, just like that. So you can see that it is starting to kind of curve now. It should start to curve like this, okay? So now we're going to decrease the sizing of our stitches. We're going to treble crochet in the next chain, so yarn over twice and go into this next chain. We're just putting 1 stitch now in this next chain, and it's going to be a treble crochet. So yarn over and pull it through that chain, then yarn over and pull through 2, yarn over and pull through 2, and yarn over and pull through 2. Awesome. I think that was the first treble crochet in here that I did well. So now let's do it again. Yarn over twice, go into this next chain, and make a treble crochet. Fabulous. Awesome. Now, in the next 2 chains, we are going to put a double crochet. So yarn over once, go into the next chain, and make a double crochet. So now we are shortening our stitches. Yarn over once, go into the next chain, and make a double crochet. Awesome. Now we should have 10 chains left. Let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We are going to half double crochet into the rest of these chains. So yarn over, go into this next chain, yarn over, pull through, and then yarn over and pull through all 3. Yarn over, go into the next chain, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through all 3. Okay, so just keep doing this until the very end. I'm going to do that, and then I will meet you up and we'll go on to the next step of grabbing the wire. Alright, just doing my last half double crochet here. Now, what we want to do, now for one of these pieces, see we're making 2 of these pieces, right? If you see this headband, I'll bring it in here, you can see that there's 2 pieces, one on this side and one on this side. So for one of the pieces, you can easily just grab your, when you're working with your wire, just continue to work around this way and work your single crochets, okay? If you are making the other side, this side piece, we are going to turn our work around, okay? And then work on the back side and make our piece. Okay, make our single crochets around the wire. Okay, I'm just going to show you one of them, and the other one just do opposite when you add the wire. So I'll show you, we're going to, just like how we made the leaves, we're going to grab our wire here. Okay, let me get these out of the way. We're going to insert our wire behind the hook, but in front of the thread. And we're going to chain 1. Okay, just like that. And now I'm going to go along this bottom here. Wherever your hook fits at this bottom here, just make a single crochet. Okay, just like this. There we go. And then in this corner here, we're going to make a single crochet, working around the wire. Okay, very similarly to how we did the leaves, just like I said. So now we're going to go in each stitch here. We're going to go into this stitch, underneath the wire. Okay, you can kind of bend the wire to go along the edge of your piece here. It's much easier to work with. Then yarn over and pull through, and then yarn over and pull through 2. Now when you're on this underside of their piece here, this is the underside, we're just going to put 1 single crochet in each stitch. But when you're at the top side up here, we're going to work a 2 single crochets in each stitch because we want that curve to be very pronounced. So I'm just going to single crochet all the way around this piece now, around with the wire, all the way around it, just like that. Okay, so this piece we just turned up this way. Now if we were doing the other piece, you know what, I think I'll just make the other piece and then I'll show you how to attach the wire to that also. So when I'm finishing up this piece, I'm just going to make the other piece off camera, but when I'm attaching the wire around the parameter of it, like this one, I'll show you how to turn your work and work that other piece of wire. So just single crochet around this whole piece, just like you would the leaf, putting 1 single crochet on the underside, putting 2 single crochets in each stitch on the top side, making sure it's curved nicely. And then when I'm finishing up my second piece and going to add the wire, I'll show you what I meant by turning the work around, because it has to be opposite, because it is going to be flipped over, pointing the opposite way on the headband. So I'll show you what I mean when I get there, but I'm just going to single crochet around this and then I'll meet you up for the next step. Alright, so I decided to show you pretty much everything that I'm going to be doing because this is kind of confusing and I know I kind of confused myself. So when I'm fastening this off, I'm going to go into the first stitch, very similar to how we did the leaf. I'm going to go on this side of the wire, bringing my thread to this side. Okay, then slip stitching, so yarn over, pull through that first stitch, and then pull through the loop on the hook. Sorry. Ugh. Thread is so difficult. Let me try that again. Sorry guys. I'm going into that stitch there, going on the left side of the wires, so make sure you go on that side, and then the thread on this side and yarn over, pull through, and through that loop on your hook. There we go. Awesome. Then come back on this side and chain 1. Okay, we're going to cut our yarn and then pull it all the way through and pull tight on there. Now, so what I ended up doing on this piece, as you can see, I didn't cut the yarn or the wire yet. You can see at the bottom here I did 1 single crochet in each stitch up until this point, and then at this point, very similarly to the leaf, I did chain 2 and then single crochet back into that point, and then I put 2 single crochets in each of these stitches up here all the way down this side. You can see there's 2 single crochets in each one of those stitches, and then we just fasten that off. Now this does not look very sightly right now. We're going to stretch it out before we cut the wire. So just take it on each end and kind of just make it look more pretty. Okay, kind of curve that. And then like I said, you can use your pliers. If you have a needle nose, it's much better. But I have this one. I'm just going to pinch the end here. Okay. And then kind of just look like that. So you kind of want that more pointed there. And then we're going to kind of shape this, stretch it out, because the wire, once you cut the wire, you don't get any more slack left of that to stretch out anything. So we're going to make it go more of a curve like this. Okay. Now we can cut our wire short. Just take your wire cutters, cut your wire short, just like that. And just like with the leaves, like I showed you earlier, just twist, twist, twist. Okay, and then bend it up in the back of your work. Okay, and you can even cut it just a little shorter if you need to. Be careful with your pliers though. There we go. And you can always use your fingers. Okay, then we're going to grab our yarn needle and sew in any ends that we may have. I have this one loose end in here. So I'm just going to yarn my needle with that. Okay, you can obviously tell very rarely do I ever work with thread, and I have like almost 700 flowers I have to crochet for my wedding. So I better get on that. So there we go, there's the thread, and then go underneath the stitches. There. Okay, and go. There we go. Give that pliers. Thanks, Dan. Dad to the rescue. There we go. Then you can cut your thread. Okay, and again, kind of just shape this piece how you should have it. Okay, so now I didn't want to confuse you earlier, but what I'm going to do now is make one exactly like this, except flipped over to the opposite end. And if I did it like this and flipped it over, made it exactly like this and just flipped it, you can see that it looks backwards like this. So what I have to do now is just make my chain of 25 and then make, you know, my slip stitch, single crochet, half double crochet, all those stitches all the way up to here. And then right before I add my wire, I'll meet you up and I will show you how to add the wire to the opposite piece so that we can make both of these pieces, this one and this one, look good. So this is this side right here, okay? And then we're just gonna make this side next. Alright, so I'm just doing part of my second one here. This is exactly how we did the first one, except with the first one, we just kept continuing on working this underside first. But for this one, before adding the wire, I wanted to meet you up because I wanted to show you how to do the opposite side. So I'm going to grab my wire here, and we're going to actually turn our work. Okay, so we're going to actually turn our work around like this. Sorry, my wire is kind of in the way. So I'm going to turn, so we're looking at it like this. We just did our last half double crochet here. We're going to turn our work this way. Okay? Then we're going to keep our thread right in the front here. Put our piece in the, our wire in the back here, okay, against our thread. Okay? And I'm actually going to chain one in front of our thread. Okay, so this is not attached yet. We're going to go into our previous stitch now, the stitch we just made, that half double crochet. We're going to go in there, keep our wire on the front of our hook there, like that. We're in the stitch. We're going to yarn over with our thread around the wire, just like that, and now we have the wire attached. We're going to yarn over and pull through 2 loops. And there's a single crochet, and now our wire is in there. And now we're just going to put 2 single crochet in each stitch on this side, and then when I get to that tip, the point part of this piece, we're going to do that single crochet, chain 2, and single crochet in this part right here, and then we're just going to put 1 single crochet in each stitch on this side here. Okay, so it's just opposite of that other piece. So very simple though, just single crochet around basically just to attach the wire. So once I have this wire all completely attached, I am going to you know, cut my wire, sew in my ends exactly how I did the other piece. And then once those 2 pieces are done, we can go on to making the next piece. Alright, I'm fastening the second one off here, but before I cut the wire, I'm going to cut the thread first here, finishing this one up. Okay, and before I cut the wire, we want to, like I showed you earlier for the other one, we're going to stretch this out to make it look exactly like this one, because they're a little different. They're actually pretty same, actually. Sweet. So what we're going to do is fold this one that's finished over the top of this other one, and just kind of move the wire to make them look kind of mirrored. See how it's like longer on the side, so you'll have to like stretch this, make it look good, kind of curve them how you want them to look, squeeze them, there we go. They actually look pretty similar, so I'm pretty happy. So then this one is the front of this one, and this one is the front of this one. And they're gonna go like this on the piece. Okay? So that looks pretty close. So now I can cut this wire short and kind of just twist it. Actually, now I do have a needle nose. Nice. And then bend this up and squeeze it there. That's the back side. Okay, I just have to sew in this end, but there you have it. So then there's those two done. And you can stretch it however you need to, make it look good, the opposite of this one. Okay, so now we have these two pieces finished, and they look really good. So now we have to make this V shape here, and then that circular piece, that blue piece that goes in the center. So let's grab more gold yarn and make the V shape that goes in the center. Alright, for this next part we are going to make the V that's in the center of the headband. We're going to make it in gold, so make a slip knot. And this one's actually quite easy. What we need to do is insert our hook into that loop, and we are going to chain 31, or any odd number depending on how big you want your V shape to be. So I'm just going to yarn over, pull through, just like this, until I have 31 chains, and then once I have my 31 chains, I'll meet you up for the next step. Alright, now we are going to grab our wire, and we're going to put it behind the hook here, in front of the thread back here. See, you have to be a little coordinated, kind of pinch it between there. There we go. And then we're going to be working along this chain line with over the top of this wire, okay? And what we're going to do now is yarn over. We're going to half double crochet into the second chain from the hook. So yarn over, go into the, you know what, I like to go into the back ridge of the chain. So I'm going to go into there. I know it's kind of difficult to see, but second chain right here, go in, and then underneath the wire as well. Sorry, kind of got twisted. There we go. So make sure you're underneath the wire as well, and then yarn over and pull it through that chain. Okay, and now we're over the wire, yarn over, and pull through all three loops, sorry, on the hook. Okay, the first one is always so difficult, but then after this one, once the wire is in there, now it's in there, now it's going to be much easier. So now yarn over, go into the next chain, okay, under the wire, yarn over, pull through, okay, go on top of the wire, yarn over, and pull through all three of the loops. Okay, we're just half double crocheting into the first, 14. So actually we started in the second chain from the hook, so we have to do 14 half double crochets. So that was 1 and 2. So then again, third one here, I'm going to do 14 in a row, and then I'll meet you up. We're going to be at that halfway point, and I'll show you what to do next. Alright, so I have 14 half double crochets, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14. Now we're going to make a half double crochet 2 together. So yarn over, okay, go into the next chain, okay, around your wire, yarn over and pull through, then go directly into the next chain, okay, under your wire, and then yarn over and pull through. Okay, and then yarn over and pull through all 4 of the loops on your hook. that's a half double crochet 2 together stitch, and that's going to create a nice easy V in the center of this V shape. And now we're just going to half double crochet in the rest of the 14 chains on this row, and that's it. And then I'll meet you up when I'm finishing, because we are going to fasten off and cut our wire and shape this into the shape we need it to be, and then we can go on to making the next piece. Alright, when you're finished half double crocheting in the rest of the stitches, just chain 1 and then cut your yarn, and then continue to pull it through and pull tight, and then we can cut this this wire off of the spool there, and then we're going to stretch this out as big as we need it to be, and where that half double crochet 2 together stitches, we're going to kind of bend this in half and then make sure that these edges are straight. I'll have to sew in these 2 ends, and then what you got to do is fold in to the back these little wires. There we go. And you can cut them shorter if you need to. Okay. And then this one also. Awesome. So that's a simple piece. Okay. So we just have that. I'll sew in those ends off camera, but here I just want to show you what we have so far. We have this piece and this piece, and they're going to come together in the center there, and then this piece is going to be on top right about here, and we are going to put that blue jewel right in there, and then we have these leaves on the sides. We have 4 leaves on this side and 4 leaves on this side. Okay. So now the only pieces we have to make are the center jewel there, and then the headband, braided headband part, and then we'll be done. Alright, now I'm using the blue thread. We're just going to make that little diamond looking shape in the center there, and then we'll get back to the gold thread when we make the headband part. So let's make a slip knot. I showed you that earlier. And let's start out by chaining 2. So yarn over and pull through 1 and 2. And in that second chain from the hook, we are going to put 6 single crochets. So go in, yarn over, pull through, and then yarn over and pull through 2 loops. So there's 1, here's 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Now don't worry about there being a center hole there. I'm going to sew in this end here. If you started with the magic ring though, you won't have a hole, and you can do that definitely. But I need a stitch marker, and I'm actually going to use one of my other pieces of gold thread because I don't have a stitch marker here. And that stitch marker I showed you in the beginning of this video is kind of too thick for this part, so I'm just going to stick a piece of thread in there just to mark my rounds. And we're going to work in continuous rounds here, and we're going to start in this first single crochet here. Whoopsie. First rounds are always the most difficult, so pinch that in there. Alright, so this first stitch, or this next round, second round, is going into this first stitch right here. Okay, and we're going to put 2 single crochets in each stitch around. So yarn over and pull through, then yarn over and pull through 2 loops. Okay, and again go back into that same stitch, then yarn over and pull through, and yarn over and pull through 2 loops. Okay, so there's 2 single crochets in that first stitch, hop to the next stitch, right here, go in for 2 single crochets. 1 and 2. There we go. Hop to the next. Go in there for 2 single crochets. So at the end of round 2, you should have 12 single crochets. I'm going to do the rest of these stitches and then I'll meet you up for round 3. Alright, for round 3, I'm going to move my stitch marker up, and don't lose that stitch that's behind the stitch marker right there. We're going to work into that stitch first, and in the first stitch here we're going to put 2 single crochets. Okay, so go in, make 1 single crochet, and then go back in for another. And then in the next stitch we're just going to put 1 single crochet. So hop into the next and just put 1 single crochet in there. Okay, and then we're just going to repeat that sequence all the way around. So 2 single crochets in the next stitch, 1 and 2, and then the next stitch is only going to get 1 single crochet. So at the end of round 3 we'll have 18 single crochets, so just repeat that, 2 single crochets in the next, and then 1 single crochet in the next after that, okay? And then just repeat. So I'll meet you up and we'll go on to round 4. Alright, moving the stitch marker up, going on to round 4, we are going to increase again. Let's put 2 single crochets in this first stitch. 1 and 2. And then 1 single crochet in the next 2 stitches. 1 and 1. Okay, and then just repeat that sequence all the way around. So 2 single crochets in the next stitch, 1 and 2, and then 1 single crochet in each of the next 2 stitches. So 1 and 1. Okay, so like I said, just keep repeating that sequence, 2 single crochet in the next and 1 in the next 2. You should have 24 single crochets at the end of round 4. I'll meet you up and we'll increase again for round 5. Alright, so I'm going to move my stitch marker up. We're going to go on to round 5 now. We are going to increase again. Let's put 2 single crochets in the first stitch. Don't lose it behind your stitch marker here. Let's put 2 single crochets in that stitch, 1 and 2, and then 1 single crochet in each of the next 3 stitches this time. So go into this next stitch, 1, next stitch is 2, and the next stitch is 3. And then just repeat that sequence all the way around. So put 2 single crochet in the next stitch, 1 and 2, and then 1 single crochet in the next 3 stitches. 1, 2, and 3. At the end of round 5, we'll have 30 single crochet. So just repeat that and then I'll meet you up for round 6. Alright, so I have 30 stitches. We're going to move our stitch marker up and increase again. Let's put 2 single crochet in the first stitch, 1 and 2, and now we're going to put 1 single crochet in the next 4 stitches this time. So you can kind of see the increase on how it's going. So you can actually make this as big as you want just by following that main increase pattern. So let's see here, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then we're just going to repeat that around. So put 2 single crochet in the next stitch, 1 and 2, and then 1 single crochet in the next 4 stitches. At the end of round 6, we will have 36 single crochets all the way around, and then I'm going to introduce the wire into this piece, and we are going to increase again for our last round. Alright, so I made it back around. I have 36 stitches around, so this is what it looks like. So now we're going to introduce the wire into this piece. So I'm going to put my wire in here, okay, remember, behind the hook, but in front of the thread. And we are going to increase for our last round, so I'm not even going to move my stitch marker up because this wire is in here and it's just going to get too confusing. So what we're going to do is we're going to go into this first stitch here. Let me make sure I have the right stitch, there we go. So into the first stitch, and then yarn over and pull through, oops, there we go. Yarn over and pull through, and then go over the top of our wire there and yarn over and pull through 2 loops. Okay, so that has put the wire now fixed in there, and we can work around there now. So put another stitch in that first stitch, so there's 2 single crochets in the first stitch, and for this round we're going to put 1 single crochet in the next 5 stitches. Okay, just like, remember I said how that increase is happening for each round. We're just putting 1 single crochet and, you know, adding 1 more, you know, and then increasing, putting 2 single crochets. So 5 single crochets in a row here. That's 3, 4, and 5. Okay, always working around that wire, around the edge there. And then put 2 single crochets in the next stitch, working around the wire, 1 and 2, okay, and then 1 single crochet in the next 5 stitches. Okay, at the end of this round you'll have 42 single crochets and it will have the wire worked in there. And I'm going to do this and then I will meet you up when I'm finishing. We'll fasten off. Alright, once you've single crocheted all the way around and did your increase, we are going to fasten this off. So go into the very next stitch, this first stitch here. Okay, go on this side of those wires, yarn over and pull through the loop on your hook for a slip stitch, then come back around the wire on this side and chain 1. Then you can cut your yarn and pull it through that chain 1, and you fastened off. And now we're going to remove the stitch marker and we're going to stretch this out as best we can to get as much wire in there as we need before we cut the wire. Okay, this looks like a really big circle right now. And then we're going to cut that wire short. Okay, move this all to the side here, kind of twist this. Okay, and then bring it to the back and kind of just push it down. Okay, we have to sew in these 2 ends, so just grab your yarn needle and then yarn your needle with that thread. There we go. And then just go behind the base of the stitches from round 1. And you may have to do this a few times, but if you started with that magic ring you probably won't have this issue, but just make sure your circle is completely stretched, and you can sew in that end. I'll sew in the rest of these off camera, but then once you have this all sewn in and everything, you're going to stretch it up and down like this, okay? And you can even, you know, use your pliers to kind of push the sides to make them more straight at an angle. Okay, because we kind of want it to be pointed at the top and then pointed at the bottom. Like a diamond shape. Okay, so you can kind of stretch it out and kind of make it like that shape. Okay, I might make these sides more pronounced, but you get the gist of it. Okay, so I'm just going to sew in these two ends real quick, and then once I have these all done and these all sewn in, we will make the headband part, and then we have to sew everything to it. Alright, now we can make the headband part of our piece here. We're going to start off with a slip knot. I'm going to use the gold's main color here. We're going to start off with a slip knot, okay, and we are going to chain 300. Okay, I won't make you watch me chain 300, just yarn over and pull through. That's 1, yarn over, pull through. That's 2, yarn over, pull through. There's 3. So I'm just going to show you that, and we're just going to chain 300, and then when I chain my 300 chains, I'll meet you up and we'll go on to the next step. Alright, I just chained my 300. I am going to snip my yarn, and then we are going to pull that all the way through, just like that, and pull it tight. So this is what your piece should look like, just a really long chain here. Okay, so now what I need you to do is make 5 more of those, so you have 6 in total. So I did this off camera here. I have 6 in total. Chains of 300. Okay, so there's just a bunch of strands. So once you have all 6 strands, all chains of 300, we are going to braid these together and make a braided headband. So let me count here. I'm gonna put my ends all together here. Okay, we're gonna tie them in a knot. Okay, so there's 6 strands there. And we're going to try to make them all as even as we can. Okay, just like that. And then we're going to wrap this around our finger, kind of like a slip knot, how we go around our finger like this, and then push that through that loop. Okay, so it's kind of like a slip knot, but we're going all the way through. Okay, and we're just going to tie this end in a knot. Very simple, like that. Okay, and you can pull tight, make sure it's secure. Then you can grab some tape if you're working on a table, or you can just put this between your knees or something if you're sitting on the couch on your lap or something. But just tape this down, something like that. And then we're going to, oh sorry, it's like kind of not on the screen here. Let me get it this way. There we go. So I tape that down, okay, and we're going to separate these by 2. Okay, so 2 in this side, 2 in the middle, and 2 on this side. Okay, just like this. And there are video tutorials out there to show you how to braid if you're unsure on how to braid, but it's very simple. We're just going to take the right side and put it over the middle. Then we're going to take the left side and put it over the middle. Then the right side over the middle, and then the left side over the middle. And you kind of want to make it a little tighter. I was just showing you that for loose, easy purposes. We're just braiding this strand now, kind of loosely. You don't want to braid too tight, or your braid might turn out a little bit small. Your band will turn out a little bit on the thin side, and although it is going to be a little thin, it's we want it to be more pronounced that it is in fact braided. So I'm going to just continue braiding this whole piece just all the way, and then when I finish braiding I will meet you up. We'll tie the end in a knot, and then we'll be able to sew on our pieces. Alright, so I made my braid, and some chains turned out longer and some turned out shorter, even though I chained 300 in each one. Maybe it was my tension during my braid, but if yours turns out like this, no worries. We're going to actually tie this in a knot, just like we did the top part. So just tie it in a knot, kind of like a slip knot, but again, pulling that all the way through. Okay, and make it go toward the very edge as close as you can get it. Okay, just like that, with it still being a braid. And then what we're going to do is chop this chop your braids just like that, and then we're going to take our yarn needle and we're going to undo these strands here. So you can see I'm just trying to untie these. You have to really get in there, but okay. And then I'm going to pull this all the way through to tie it off. Okay, so we're going to do that for each one, and I know this metallic is like getting in my way here. So this one is done, this one is done, and this one is done. So we have this one here. I'm just trying to undo this. Okay. There we go. So then just pull, 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 and when you're ready, just keep it, put your needle in the loop there, and then just pull that all the way through, and then pull it tight, and it will secure. So we do it to this last one here. Just pull this out, and then pull until it's a little shorter, and then pull that through and pull tight. Awesome. So now we are going to cut these all the same length. Oops. There we go. Get rid of that. You can untape that and then put your knots together. Okay. This is going to be in the back of the head, so nobody's going to see these, but we're going to cut them all the same length then. Be careful with your scissors. Okay, just like that. So there we have a braided headband. Now, that's not crochet, but that's really pretty on its own. So you could, if you wanted to, you know, have a braided headband. But we want to add our pieces that we made because we worked so hard on them. So what we want to do first is fold this in half and make sure it's perfectly in half, and then where that bend is right there, that's going to be the very front. And I'm going to take this yarn here and just tie it around there, just to mark that that is in fact the center. Okay, so there's the center there. Now we're going to lay this out flat right here, and we're going to take our two pieces, our two curved pieces, and set them here. Okay, so this is where it's going to be, right around there. But what we have to do first is sew these two pieces together. So let me grab my yarn needle and some gold thread, and we are going to sew those pieces together first. Okay, so you're looking at the front of these together. We're going to fold them to face each other like this. Okay, and then we're going to sew them together just from the very bottom up to about halfway point. So just this point, just this much right here. Okay, and what we're going to do, I'm just going to work in these back loops, this back loop of this one to this back loop of this one. Okay, and I'm just going to go through both layers and then just pull just like this. Then just come back around and go to the next one, just this back loop right here, and then this one right here, and just keep doing that. Just whip stitch it all the way up. This is called the whip stitch, always going through the same piece first and then the next piece. And I'm just working in the back loops. You can work in both loops or back loops. Just sew them together. And like I said, I'm just going to sew it up until about right here. So just these right to about here. And then when I get to this point right here, I will show you how to fasten this off. Alright, so I just sewed up to where I wanted to end there. So if you want to, before fastening off, you can open this up, make sure that is how you want it to look, and that is how I want it to look. So I'm going to close it back up, and then we're going to go into a couple of stitches here. Okay, just back around, just like that. and then keep your finger in that loop, but keep pulling. Okay, just like that, and then come back through that loop, and then remove your finger and pull that tight. And that creates a knot, and then we're going to sew this end in underneath the stitches. Let's see, where's my pliers here? Okay, so I'll sew that end in, and then we have to do the same thing to the opposite side. I did cut this off of the ball of yarn, so we want to just yarn our needle and do the same thing to the bottom side here. We're just going to go around a couple of stitches, okay, and then go back through that loop and then pull tight. Okay, and then I'm going to sew in those ends and then trim my yarn, and there is the center piece. So now we are going to then we'll sew that to the headband right in that center where we marked it. We're going to sew it down onto there, right about there. Okay, we want the, here I'll hold this up here so you can see, we want the band to be right in the center there, and we want these curved parts here to be on the band, just like that. Okay, so that's how it's kind of going to lie. And then after that we're going to sew on this piece, okay, and then after that we want to sew on this piece over the top of that. So that's kind of how the center looks for the Destiny headband. So let me sew in these ends, and then I'll come back and I'll show you how to sew all these pieces to the headband. Alright, so now I just sewed in those ends there. I just want to sew this to the headband now. So I'm just going to line it up right about here. Okay. And then I yarned my needle, and I'm just going to go from the back into the headband through the front of the curved piece here. Okay, and then we're just going to work across this piece, going back and forth, like in and out of this. And you just want to basically pin it down, like tack it down with just a few stitches. You don't need a whole lot. It will stay. If you're, you know, concerned that it might not, it will. Oops. And then once this piece is on completely, just make sure you do it straight across here. Okay. And then once it's done, we can remove that stitch marker. Actually, you probably remove it now. There we go. Okay, and then you want to end on the back side of this piece. Okay, so go to the back here, and then we're going to tie this off. So we're going to go underneath a few of the stitches. Okay, and just like I showed you for the other piece how to fasten that off, we're just going to go up into that loop that we made there and just pull tight. And that creates a knot, and then you can just kind of sew your end into the braid headband part. Just like that. And then you can cut this side. It's all secure in there. Looks great. And then I'm just going to tie off that other side just the same way. Let me cut that yarn and I'll tie that off. And then we can add, I'm just going to sew in this end and then we can add the next piece. Alright, so now I just want to add this piece here, so I'm just going to put it right where we want to cover where we can see the braid there. So we're going to kind of shape this into like a diamond shape. You can shape it into a diamond, or you can flatten the top and make it look more like a real diamond, or you can just keep it as a circle. Totally up to you, but I'm going to set it about right at the top there. Okay. And then we're going to sew it on with the same color as the jewel. So if you use the same blue, we're going to start from the back, okay, and just go in to this piece, just like that. And you can take your time, please just take your time working this all the way around here. I'm just going back and forth just like this, okay? And then I'm just going to tie it off just like I tied off those other pieces. Very simple, just tying knots in the back. Just make sure you end in the back. Okay, so I'm almost done here. Okay, so end in the back, make sure it's secure on there, looks great. So then we're going to tie it off back here, just go underneath a few stitches, and I feel like I've showed you this already, just go through, come back through that loop, and then just pull tight. And then we can just tie this in underneath the braid, or into the braid headband part. Okay, and then cut your yarn. So I'm going to do the same exact thing to the other side, just gotta cut this and then tie that in, and then we can add the next piece. Alright, the next piece to sew on is this V shape right in front of the blue jewel piece. Okay, so we're just gonna go from the back of our work into this piece and just sew that on just like we sewed on the other pieces. So very simple, and then just tie it off like I showed you the blue piece. So this is just exactly where it should go, being set on the very base of the blue piece right in here, and just make it look like a V shape and make sure it's straight, not crooked, and just sew that on and then tie in your ends. And then I'll show you where to put the leaves. Alright, so I just sewed on these 4 leaves on this side, and now I'm going to show you how to sew on 2 leaves, and then you'll be able to do the other 2 on your own. So I'm just going to line these up, make sure your fasten off area where that little wire is at the bottom, okay, like this, and we're just going to line these up where we want them. Okay, just like that. Alright, so yarn your needle. We're going to start with the one on this side here. We're going to start from behind our work, and we're going to go into the braid of our band first, okay? And then we're going to take this leaf and we're going to go into the side, about the center area. Really doesn't matter, you can just eyeball it where you want it to go, and then into the piece right here. Oops, right at the edge there, okay, so that they are touching. And then just go through all 3 layers and pull a lot through, because we'll be going all the way through each of the 4 pieces, okay? So then we're gonna line this braid up in the back here, just like this, and we're gonna go, see, just gonna pull some more here. Alright, just line it up straight across there, and we're just gonna go back in and we're going into the braid all the way, and then back through and about to the center area, and then another stitch about right here, and then we're going to come out the braid, okay, but we want to come through the next piece, and the next piece should always be underneath the piece in front of it, or the piece before it. Okay, so we're going to come through the braid, then through our piece, okay, and then through the next piece, and then through the previous piece. Oh my goodness. And it's weird because I'm doing it on camera and trying to get you to see the angle here. Alright, there we go, into this piece, and then into this piece. There we go. Okay. And then you want to do that for each piece after that leaf. Okay, so you can have, 4 or 5 or however many leaves you want on your headband. Okay. And then just do like 3-4 stitches in the leaf. And take your time, just make it look good. I'm going a little faster for the camera, but you can take all the time you need to make it look decent. Okay. So now I'm ready to add the next leaf here. So make sure that that part is at the bottom here, inside there. And go through the braid, and then the new piece, and then the old piece, and you're attached. Okay, so then just do that for these next 2 pieces here, and then I'll meet you up when I'm fastening off. Alright, just ready to fasten this off now. So I just came through the very last one there, and now we are going to tie this off. So let's go underneath some of the stitches in the braid, and then through the loop, and tie that off. And then you can do that once or twice, and then just weave your end into the braid, and then you'll just have to do the other side exactly the same way, just obviously opposite, and you can tie that side off, and then there's just this side right here to tie off, and that should be the headband. It turned out so pretty, and I absolutely love it. So thank you so much for watching and learning how to make this headband with me. That was so much fun. I hope you learned something. If you did, make sure to thumbs up this video and subscribe to my channel here on YouTube. Big thank you to Red Heart Yarns for providing the yarn for this project. Oh my gosh, it looks awesome. And you can play around with these leaves here, just like this. Kind of shape them, make them look cool. And there you have a cute little cosplay headband, or you can, obviously you could have eliminated that center there and just had the leaves all the way across. That's beautiful too. So big thank you to my dad also for, filming and editing and doing all the photography for this. Make sure to check out the photos on my website, on Instagram and Facebook, and make sure if you make this, share your photos. Pretty soon a video will pop up here. Subscribe will be in this corner, and check out my website in this corner. So thanks again for watching, everyone. This is so beautiful. Happy hooking!